Welcome to Knightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, good morning, Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline the morning after, live from the 1148 studios and the ESPN 580 Orlando studios. Brought to you by Chad Bar Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call at 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or you can visit chadbarlaw.com. I'm here with Ben Stout and also Roger Bengal here at the 1148 studios today. How you guys doing?
Doing wonderful. Glad to be here.
Me as well. Just excited that I'm here in person and live and hanging out with you guys. So,
all right, good.
Good
Sounds
to have
good.
you, man. Not on the phone anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, not a lot of sports stuff, obviously, yet. We're getting there. Some UFC stuff last night, but as far as UCF goes, not a lot of stuff. But we do have a guy coming in on the second segment. Chad Brown from UCF basketball will be here on the phone, and that will be good to talk to him. He's got some stuff going on that he wants to tell us about, and we'll talk to him about him playing in the G League for the Dallas Mavericks and stuff like that. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, super excited. That's a high-energy guy, so I'm hoping he brings it to the radio.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. What else is going on, guys? You guys got anything that we can talk about here?
I mean, you missed it, Andrew. You talked about UFC yesterday, but I mean, you missed the live event of the week, which was Cornhole Championships going on yesterday. Live sports on ESPN.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's actually a sport I can participate in.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Yeah. Well, it's better than nothing.
I'll tell you what, I watched it for a little bit just because it was something to watch.
So they were literally playing cornhole?
Oh, yeah. It was like the professional doubles championship or something that was going on. I feel like it was on ESPN all day yesterday, but hey, I watched a little bit of it, so they got my ratings.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, it is what it is. I guess if you have to do something, you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm just, NASCAR comes back today, which is exciting for me. I love NASCAR, so I'm looking forward to sitting on the couch and watching that for a little while today.
I mean, things are starting to trickle back, right? I mean, at least some plans are. It seems to be some sort of light at the end of the tunnel for live sports in 2020.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, even the NFL, they sent out a memo reopening their facility. So we're starting to see that trickle in, like you guys said.
That's good. That's good. All right. Any UCF news we can talk about? Anything that we got?
Well, we have a new agreement with a new team to play in the future. We've also got a little bit of burn on Auburn, which is always fun to talk about. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, there's the Liberty University thing that I guess UCF hasn't announced it, but I guess Liberty announced it because they're excited about it, obviously. Coming to Orlando, I believe, and playing. Well, I don't think we would go there and play, obviously.
No.
But in 2024, Liberty University football at UCF.
Hey, that's our extra gimme game, so I'm hoping it stays a gimme game.
I wouldn't, after 2015 and the way that Furman beat us, I would never say that any game is a gimme game. I don't care what your season looks like. You never know. That's 4 years away. So I would never say gimme personally.
Well, they were bowl eligible after their second or third year in FBS, so they are pumping a ton of money into that program. So they're definitely on a rocket ship. They're committed to it. I mean, obviously this COVID thing throws everybody for a loop, but hey, for me, I look at it as it's a seventh game, and anytime I can be in the stadium on the 50-yard line screaming and standing and screaming the whole time, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it as well, is that hopefully this means that we'll have a seventh home game in 2024, which I imagine that's what it'll mean. I mean, there's only 2 non-conference scheduled for 2024 right now, but that's regardless of who we're playing, if we're getting the ability to watch the Knights at home seven games a year is really exciting, and good for the program overall, revenue wise, and all that.
An interesting article that came out on ESPN.com just the other day, the 13th, from Adam Rittenberg, was college football's top 25 future overall power rankings. And UCF was mentioned in that, which is really good. At number 20, which is fine. I'll take number 20 because I do not believe, let me look through here real quick. Yes. There's one other group of 5 school in that, and that's Appalachian State coming in at number 25. But what he said about UCF, let me read the beginning of it here real quick if you didn't see this, and just the way that this kind of came up. After examining quarterbacks, defenses, and offenses, this list projects the top 25 teams for the next 3 seasons. The forecast covers 2020, 2021, and 2022, and factors in both current rosters and future recruiting classes, as well as coaching program trajectory. It's early for me to say a word like that. And other categories. The team rankings obviously contain overlap with earlier versions, particularly at the top, but there is some variance too. Coaching success, longevity, potential coaching change is arguably a bigger factor when projecting. I gotta wake up. How teams fare going forward. Anyway, so number 20, UCF, and I'll read to you as well as I can what's going on here. So it says future quarterback ranking number 18, future offense ranking 14, future defense ranking not rated for some reason. Scouting the Knights, UCF showed some cracks in 2019, dropping 3 regular season games, albeit a total of 7 points, and failing to make the New Year's Six for the first time in 3 years. But the Knights still outscored opponents 564 to 299. And developed yet another standout quarterback in Dylan Gabriel, who could lead the offense through 2022. The UCF offense that ranked second nationally in scoring since 2017, 44.95 points per game, isn't about to derail. The Knights regain productive veterans like running back Otis Anderson and wide receiver Trey Nixon for one more year, as well as key juniors like all AAC guard Cole Snyder. A veteran talented secondary Richie Grant and Aaron Robinson will lead the defense in 2020. UCF will lose a lot more after next season, but the potential of younger players like Ends, Traymon Morris-Brash, Randy Charlton, and linebacker Eric Gilliard bodies well for 2021, is what they say on ESPN.com. So that's good.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm happy when articles come out like this that UCF is even in that conversation, and they should be, obviously, but let me run down the list here real quick. We got Clemson as number 1, Ohio State number 2, which is interesting, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma, Florida, Oregon, Notre Dame, Penn State, Texas Longhorns, Auburn Tigers, Wisconsin Badgers, Washington Huskies, Texas A&M, Baylor Bears. I thought I already said Baylor, but maybe not. USC, Michigan, North Carolina, UCF, Oklahoma State, Minnesota, Iowa, Louisville, and Appalachian State, which is interesting.
Texas? I mean, hasn't Texas been back for like 10 years now? I mean, they constantly project them as top 25 teams.
Well,
right?
you got to remember it's the off season, right? So the off season, Texas is always seems to be the champion of the off season. For some reason, they always get talked about a lot once they get some recruits. I mean, they get a lot of great recruits because they have a lot of money pumping into that program. But on the UCF front, what I thought was interesting was. And it's expected when they rank the QB position very highly and the offense very high. I mean, that's a testament to Heupel and his offense and And of course, Dylan Gabriel, expected to be there for the majority of these future rankings, the years that they cover off there. But what I think is kind of a sleeper thing about UCF that the national spotlight doesn't necessarily understand is that, I mean, we're projecting out to 22, 23 in this power rankings. I mean, I think Randy Shannon, with his ability to recruit and his quite frankly his ability to coach a defense, which I think our defense is going to continually improve, that we might outshine that ranking because of how well our defense will do in the future.
I agree on the defense. I mean, they have been underrated a little bit the last few years. I think part of that is because we have so many offensive possessions. So, it's kind of like the Oregon argument back in the day where they said, well, you can't really measure the defense based on the points, et cetera, because we're running them out on the field all the time. Mm-hmm. That being said, you saw the defensive line start to get pressure. He wants to play that attacking style defense, and he's got to get the players to do that, right? So you're starting to see last year our focus was defensive line. We've lost some of those folks, unfortunately, in the offseason. But at the end of the day, if he can attack, he's going to have a successful defense. I think more to the point of anything, I actually pulled 2 additional articles in prep for the show. We are the 17th winningest team not to make the playoff. We're tied for 17, which is unfortunate, right? But that also includes that since the playoff started, so that includes our over season. So if you had just an average season, if you had an 8-win season, think about how much higher we are. So we're doing this on a consistent basis. The look back to 2017, 43 points a game. I mean, if you're going to continue scoring 43 points per game, you're going to win a lot of football games. So I think this is the Danny White, I want to build a top 25 program. Gone are the days of the roller coaster. Again, to me, the last probably 3 to 4 years are that next iteration. We had George O'Leary who got us to the Fiesta Bowl. That was that ceiling, right? Now we're in that next growth stage where it's like, okay, we put that behind us. We're consistently now in those bowl games, or have a reasonable thought that we would every season. So great for UCF fans. But now we're at that next level. So that next stage, if we're going to be consistently top 25, if an opportunity does open, who are you going to look at? You're going to look at that squad, right? So.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so, good stuff. Good stuff there. All right, what else do we got? We got a couple more minutes here before we take a break.
Well, I was just going to build on this. I mean, we always, as UCF fans, we roll our eyes at preseason polls, or we bash them if they don't include us or talk about us well. We get excited and talk about it positively if we're spoken about on the national scale positively. But as much as we roll our eyes at about preseason polls in general, whether you're a UCF fan or not, really, it's important for us to be a part of that conversation now, because as long as we continue to win and take care of business during the regular season, we have a better chance. If we're included now, we have a better chance of being a part of the opportunity for the larger CFP or whatever that may be, another conference in the future. We have a better chance of being a part of that postseason that we really want to be a part of in the CFP, as long as we're kind of in it to begin the season. And so that's what's important about these preseason polls for us. Unfortunately, that's the game that we have to play. And luckily for us, we've gained enough credibility over the course of the last few seasons, as you mentioned, and the future looks bright, where we're able to kind of gain that notoriety in the offseason.
Well, it's brand. It's a measure of brand, right? So, one that, to me, preseason polls tells us what the college football community is thinking about UCF in general. That trickles over into AP polls and everything else. And the higher we can get, so if we're in the preseason polls and we're in the first poll, like you said, that sets our stage and limits our ceiling later on in that season. Mm-hmm. I mean, also within the state of Florida, when you're talking about recruiting, right? So brand matters. If we're constantly in these polls, we're competing against Miami, FSU, and everybody goes to Miami for athletes, and we love to go there in Georgia for athletes, right? So if our brand perception is such, I saw something the other day that in the state of Florida, since I think the college football playoff season, we have the highest winning percentage of all of the teams, right? And we're tied for first with UF for the number of New Year's Six games that we've played in.
Right.
So that dynamic, and UCF recently played all these social media posts on College Game Day, right? And they were talking about, the theme was, hey, you've got the traditional powers, but look who's running the state now. That's what you're seeing now, and that matters to recruits.
Definitely. The
All
brand
right.
matters.
Yeah. Well, it does. It definitely does. So, I mean, this COVID-19 thing is still messing up everything, obviously, with college sports, and we're not sure what we're going to have, what we could have, all that. But it also opens up, the thought that, and we've talked a little bit about this in the last, weeks before today, about possibly, the whole thing causing a little bit of realignment, even temporary realignment. So that could be an interesting thing, with that.
Yeah,
so,
throwing kind of all preconceived things out the window as far as schedule goes, and have if certain amount of teams say they can't or won't play in this 2020 season, but the majority say that they can and they're willing to with the right precautions and all that, then what does the 2020 college football schedule or college sports schedule look like in general? Not from a date standpoint, but from an opponent standpoint. That's kind of an exciting thing to ponder on at this time when we don't have much concrete stuff to talk about.
Well, I think to Andrew's point, as far as realignment is concerned, I mean, it's a cost savings, right? Number one, and they're really talking about geographic alignment, because you've got, like we talked about the American having 11 different states that they're dealing with. I mean, look at the state of California. We have schools in the Northeast, right? What's New York and that area going to look like? Philadelphia, all of those areas. What is all of that going to look like?
Okay, hey, we're going to talk about that and a lot more stuff. We're going to have Chad Brown coming up in the next segment, and we're going to take a little bit of a break right here, and we will be right back on Knightline the morning after with Chad Brown.
And now, back to Knightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Call now at 844-225-5580 or text at 21232.
All right, back on Knightline the morning after, live from the 1148 studios and the ESPN 580 Orlando studios, brought to you by Chad Barr, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call at 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. And now we have another Chad on the phone. We have Chad Brown of the Chad the Beast Brown, I should say.
That's right.
From UCF basketball, now playing in the G League for the Dallas Mavericks. Chad, my man, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. Man. I appreciate you all for having me on today.
Absolutely awesome. No problem anytime. You were one of my favorite players ever from UCF, and I appreciate the way that you handle yourself. You're really good with kids and everything else, and always have taken time for fans. And I was talking to one of your people that you work with the other day, Tara, and I was telling her how much I appreciate the way that you do that. So now I'm telling you that as well. It's just a lot of people, come out of college and have success and turn into something else. And you have not done that at all. So, man, I mean, there is nothing better than a guy like you that can do that and remain, honest in who you are. And we greatly appreciate that.
Oh, man, I definitely appreciate it, man. I feel like, kids, man, they're our future. And, it's just, I feel like you just have to, that's what it's all about. That's what we play for. We as athletes, we have a platform, and we're able to, express, and we're able to share our love and our power that we have, on and off the court for our fans. When it says that NBA cares and different, things like that, it's what we play for. And I just feel I'm so grateful and blessed to have the platform to be able to, share my love and care for fans and show my intensity that I have on the court. And it's a blessing. It's the reason why I play, man.
Yeah, Chad, we definitely want to dive in to a little bit of that in a minute, but I would like to take a step back and talk about your time at UCF. So this is Ben Stout. I played in the early 2000s for UCF basketball. So I just really appreciate the intensity as you talked about, but just the leadership that you brought to the UCF basketball program, and we're excited to have you as a now UCF basketball alum, man. So welcome to the family, and certainly excited about that. But I was a part, as I said, I was a part of the 2004 ASUN championship team that played against Pittsburgh in the NCAA tournament. And one of the things about that team that set us apart was the chemistry that we had on the court. Can you talk a little bit about I should say on and off the court. So can you talk a little bit about the chemistry of your teams that you were a part of on UCF and how that really developed over time?
Yeah, man. So, when I first got to UCF, being a freshman, it's tough. It's tough. You have to fit in with the guys, and, you have to compete at a high level. Coming from high school, the competitive, level is a little different. The talent is a lot higher. Guys are stronger, bigger. And, you got to fit in. You got to find your niche, find your role, find what you're good at. You're not going to be the superstar as a freshman. You got to work your way up the ranks and, continue to get better. And, that's what I did. I tried to fit in the best way I could and just get along with everybody. And at the same time, I've always brought the energy even in high school. So, I feel like, why not bring it to UCF? This is what I want to do. This is the stage that I want to be on, and I'm great at what I do. As far as bringing energy, the intensity, rebounding, and blocking shots, and just being that hustle and heart and soul of the team. So that's why I wanted to bring my freshman year. And as time went on, man, and then when Coach Dawkins came, the intensity level raised up a little bit higher, and I could definitely say that our chemistry got even closer. We got even closer, and even to last year, man. Last year was incredible. It was incredible. I could definitely say that our chemistry was so close on and off the court. We would go to arcades, we would go to bowling alleys, just hang out with each other, get to know one another, get to know our stories, get to know, where we're from, our families and things like that. And, we got so close off the court to on the court, we just fought for each other. We were all like brothers. We were all like brothers, and it showed. It showed when we played. The chemistry that we had. We had a good, older group. Between, me, Aubrey, BJ, Taco, Dan. We had a lot of seniors, so we had a lot of older guys, and we were able to lead the younger guys as well. And I can just say that, like you said, man, being in that 2014, playing against Pittsburgh in the NCAA, I can say that chemistry is a huge part of success. You have to have chemistry on and off the court to be successful as a team, and that's what we had.
Sure.
And it didn't come overnight either. It didn't come overnight. We had to work on it. Off season, in the summertime, we were able to spend time with each other, hang out, get to know one another. We would work out in the gym together. Even when it was a quote-unquote off day, we'll still be in the gym all together, all of us. We will all be, working out and getting better together. And I felt like that's when that bond got closer. And, I was, blessed and fortunate to be a real vocal guy on the team because of my character, who I am. A lot of guys on the team, everybody on the team really, looked up to me, looked up to my hard working ethic, just the passion, the motor that I brought to the table, and what I did on a nightly basis. So, everybody looked up to me, and I was able to be a leader on the team, very vocal, and I kind of brought guys together. So, I could definitely say that it was an unbelievable career that I had at UCF, and it was just, I still have sleepless nights about that Duke game, but
we all do.
Well, Chad, this is Night Bengal. Actually, that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. First of all, love the fact that you're a local guy. We've interacted a lot on Twitter. Love the energy that you brought to the table. I'm curious if you're going to get a Mountain Dew sponsorship at some point because, I feel the surge, man. But reality is, you had a very successful and the team kind of built itself up over the years. We had some injuries back and forth, but you were a constant and a mainstay, and your role kind of changed during the course of your career. Right. When you guys got to that tournament run, right? When you got to the NCAA tournament, I know we were all rooting for you. What was that like to experience as a player? And then specifically, you mentioned the Duke game. Can you kind of walk us through that game and unfortunately those two missed tips and what that was like from your perspective?
Yeah, man. I can even go further back as when we got picked to play in the NCAA tournament. It was a surreal moment. It was a moment that you would just never forget. We're all together at Burger U, and, we get the name call that UCF is in the NCAA tournament. And all the seniors, you could just see the emotions on all the seniors' faces. It was just a surreal moment, man. We worked so hard to get to that moment. Our last year, we want to do something special, and for us to climb and climb and climb and finally, reach close to the mountaintop, man. It was a blessing, and we were able to cherish that moment together and start preparing for BCU. And they were a good team. Man. We fought and battled with those guys, and we came out on top, and we were very fortunate. We played really well that game. Everybody was playing their role and doing amazing. And then the next round, we played against Duke. We knew that Duke was going to, be a really good team, a really fast-paced team. Those guys are young. Zion, RJ, Cam, Trey, all those guys. Those guys are really talented, man. And, we knew that it was going to be a fast-paced game. We knew that those guys are wanting to attack. We knew that Cam was going to want to shoot the three a lot. So, I give so much props to Coach Dawkins and the staff, man. They had a really good scouting report. They prepared us the best way. I definitely can say that they prepared us amazing to have a chance to beat those guys. And before the game, the jitters, the emotions, all in the air. You wake up as a kid and you think about these moments. When you're in the front yard and you're shooting hoops. You're thinking about the NCAA tournament. You think about playing in the NBA. These are the moments where you realize that, man, I'm at this point. Let's embrace the moment and let's win. That's the mentality I had. That we're here, we're finally here, we're at this stage. It doesn't get no better than this. And so the warm-up's going. I'm trying to calm everybody down, get all of us in the huddle. Like, hey, man, this is just another game. Let's play the way we've been playing all season. We got an opportunity to beat these guys, man. Let's just go and compete out there and, let's see what happens, man. Let's all play together, stay focused, and let's do what we do, And so we're having a good game. We're playing. We're going up and down, the refs into it, the fans into it, Coach Dawkins and Coach K on the sideline standing up every possession. It's just – It's an unbelievable game, man. It felt like a movie, actually. It felt like a movie. And then all the way down to the last shot, man. BJ drives, and it's a shot that he makes. It's a shot that he makes, a shot that I've seen him make multiple times, practice, games, workouts, you name it. And so, he misses that shot, and Aubrey comes flying in out of nowhere and tips it. Ball rolls around and comes out. Zion tips it back to the other side, and those are the zeros on the clock. And it's crazy how emotions can go from really high to really low so quick. In basketball, it's everything happens in a split second. You can go from winning one game to losing one game off of one possession. So, it was like I said, man, it was such an unbelievable moment. I still have sleepless nights that we didn't win, but I was grateful for those moments I had at UCF, man, because I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. With those guys and coming all the way down to the wire, it was special. And I was, like I said, I was blessed to be a really vocal and high energy guy and a leader for that team because I wanted to bring everybody together. I was like a heart and soul. I wanted to make sure we all are P's and Q's, and guys, like I said, guys look up to me, so they listen to me, and I try to bring that every single day, bring my leadership, show that I will be the first one in the gym, last to leave, and that's how my mentality is. So guys looked up to it, and I was fortunate to be a part of that.
All right, hey, you're listening to Chad Brown on Knightline the morning after on ESPN 580 Orlando. Chad, we got to take a little bit of a break here, but we're going to keep you on for the next segment if that's all right, because we have a lot more to talk to you about.
Okay, no, that's no problem.
Okay, all right, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back on Knightline the morning after.
And now, back to Knightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Call now at 844-225-5580 or text at 21232.
All right, back on Knightline the morning after. This is Andrew Phegley, and I'm joined by Ben Stout and Roger Bengal. Also on the phone, we have Chad Brown. We are live from the ESPN 580 Orlando studios and the 1148 studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law. What to expect, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. I mentioned again just a second ago, we have Chad Brown on the phone. We held him over from the first segment because we didn't get nearly the stuff talked about that we needed to. Chad, tell us about the whole, playing in the G League with the Dallas Mavericks, what you're doing now, and what you got going on besides that.
Yeah, man. So, I was, fortunate and able to, sign a Exhibit 10 deal with the Dallas Mavericks. So I was in training camp with those guys and played with the Texas Legends this season. And it was great. It was great. I had a really, really good, rookie season. I brought the energy, brought the passion, brought the heart and soul to Dallas. And Dallas is a great city. Dallas is a great city. They're sports fans. They embraced what I brought to the table, and they loved it, and I had a really good rookie season. I learned a lot of ways to get better, to develop my game, and I can just say it was great, man. I like the G League. I like what they do. I like what they do developing guys on and off the court, becoming a true professional, and it's great. It's great. So I can definitely say I had a really good rookie season, man, out there in Dallas, and I'm excited for the future of what's to come.
All right, so you got like a camp or something coming up. You usually do those, right? So you're going to do it a little bit differently this year?
Yeah, so, I have a brand out. It's called CB3. CB3, basically what it is the 3 stands for the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And then the other 3 stands for my family, which is Chad, Carmen, and Jasmine, which is my mom and my twin sister. And basically, when I started this brand, me and my mentor, we kind of talked about it, Tara Gibson, we talked about it, and we were like, this is a great time to do this and to engage your fans, as a professional. I have a really good fan base, on social media, and, this is a great way to relate to my fans, just, and to showing support, buying shirts, hats, and I have these new Beast Bands out. And for the Beast Bands, I'm donating to a local food pantry, actually, for this pandemic that we have, the situation of the COVID-19. So I'm actually donating for a food pantry, the West Volusia Salvation Army. So, basically, man, the Beast Bands is just having that beast mentality every single day. I want people to, when they're with these bands, I want them to have that beast mentality every day, knowing that, you can wake up, you can have high energy, you can be passionate for what you do, you can have that grit and grind, but also be humble with a smile on your face. I feel like you could do both, because the fans, like kids, they look up to it. They see me, how I play on the court, they see the energy that I bring, and I want to be able to bring that in a type of way off the court as well and relate to them and know that, I'm here for my fans as well, and I feel like this is a great way to relate to them. And, I just feel like it's great, man. It's been great, having a brand out. And, I wanted to do a basketball camp, man, to start it off. It was going to be my first basketball camp, but now it has to be put on hold a little bit because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But, I want to, as soon as this is over, I have a couple of gyms in mind that I'll be able to use for the camp, preferably in Deltona, but also I can go to UCF as well. I have some good permission to go to UCF as well. So I'm excited, man. It's on hold a little bit right now, but I'm still excited because I believe that I'll still be able to do it, when the time is right.
So where can people find these the Beast Bands that you got going on? Where is there a website or something that people can find that?
It is a website. It's www.cb3enterprises.com.
cb3enterprises.com. All right, cool. Very, very cool. We have time for maybe like a couple more questions, maybe like one or two. Anybody got one?
Well, I got a short one that you might have to think about for a second. But you played against a lot of great players, probably in high school, definitely in college, and certainly in the G League. Can you think of a player in college and a player in this last season in the G League that was just a real challenge for you to guard and just a great competitor for you to go up against?
Oh man, that's a good question. I played against a lot of guys, man. Even in high school, man. I played against Ben Simmons, D'Angelo Russell, Mount Bird. I'm trying to think, man. This is a good question. I played against so many talented guys, man. And in college, the American Conference is as good as any conference in the country, I believe. And I played against so many talented guys. Rob Gary from Houston, a great scorer, competitor. Jeremiah Martin, a great competitor, great scorer, passionate for the game.
What about this past league what about this past season in the G League? Is there anybody that's kind of stands out to you because I know that is a high level league and a lot of people don't realize that. Oh,
absolutely. I'm trying to think.
You could tweet at us later, then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I could say a guy that was a really good competitor, man. We played against Kyle Guy this year. He won the national championship with Virginia last season.
Oh yeah.
Played against him this year, man. He's a true competitor, true winner, man. He grits and grind, man. He reminds me of a guard, Chad Brown. He's passionate, man. He's really passionate. I like playing against him. He's a competitor. He's going to compete. Great scorer, facilitator. He was hard to play against, man. His team was really good. Had some really good, talented players on that team. I played against Isaiah Cannon. He played in the league for a couple of years. Jared Jack played in the league a couple of years. And my teammate on the Legends, man, I had a few good teammates on the Legends. You know, I had Cameron Payne, played in the NBA. I had Nate Mason, really good point guard. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. You know, I had a lot of good teammates as well. So, I mean, it was good, man. It was so many great competitors I played against, man, that, you know, it made me want to work on my game even more. You know, seeing that these guys are just as talented, if not, you know, more talented at what they do. And it made me just want to continue to work even more because I see, you know, being in Dallas and when I was with the Mavericks and stuff, you know, it shows the hard work that you have to put in. And it took my grind to a whole different level.
That's awesome, man.
All righty, Chad Brown from UCF fame and also Dallas Mavericks G League. Thank you, Chad. Keep doing what you do. We really appreciate you joining us today, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I appreciate you all for having me, and I thank you for just everything you all do. You know, just talking with the athletes and getting to, you know, listen to their stories and just being, you know, great UCF alumni guys, man. I appreciate you all so much as well.
All righty, man. We will talk to you again. We got to take a break. Nightline the morning after is going to be right back. You were just listening to Chad Brown. If you have a chance to get his stuff, do it.
And now, back to Nightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Call now at 844-225-5580 or text at 21232.
All right, back on Nightline the morning after, live from the ESPN 580 Orlando studios and the 1148 studios here. Brought to you by Chad Bar Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call at 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. Just had Chad Brown on from UCF, Chad the Beast Brown, and I didn't have a chance to ask him, but you can reach him on Twitter. A lot of you already know, Chad at Chad the Beast _21. At Chad the Beast _21 on Twitter. Great to have him on. One of my all-time favorites. I just loved the energy that guy would bring anytime that he would step foot onto the court. No matter what was happening, you could always count on him. And such a great guy. Again, I said that in the beginning. I kind of went on about it, but there's not a lot of people that are, you know, in professional sports that are that down to earth and that you know, good of a guy. So I'm sure there's others out there, but yeah. I don't know them. I know Chad Brown.
I mean, I've said it so many times. I couldn't agree more. I mean, he's just such a great representative of the university and the basketball program, and we're excited to have him in the fold as a UCF alumni, UCF basketball alumni. He's just a great representative of the university, and so we're glad that he's a Knight, that's for sure.
Yeah, and for me, you know, I met him several times after basketball games or whatnot. He always took the time to spend some time with my kids and hang out with them and talk to them. And, you know, just for the basketball team in general, there were times where, you know, you had B.J. Taylor, sometimes that was that driving force, and sometimes that energy force was Chad. And every team needs that when things are looking down or people are having a bad day, because you can't be 100% all the time. He was that guy that picked up the team. He was that real sixth man kind of person who picked up the team.
Yeah, and it takes a special person, special personality to be able to be that driving force when you're not necessarily the starter or the person that's always the focal point of the offense, or you know, always bringing that energy, regardless of what your role is, being a star in your role, and being a leader on the team when you may not be the focal point of the team. It takes a special person to do that, and that's why I knew that he was going to be picked up by somebody, because once he's on a team and people understand what he brings to the table, it's so much more than basketball, but it's a high level of basketball as well. And so we're just happy for him and looking forward to what comes in the future for him.
Yeah, I think that he'll succeed in no matter what he does.
No doubt.
Just because of the way and the kind of person that he is. I think it's absolutely awesome. So looking forward to seeing him play more, obviously, in the G League once that gets, going up again, and maybe in the whatever they call it, the real league. I don't know what they call it, the NBA. The league. I think when most people say the league, it's football, but yeah. So Chad Brown, very, very cool dude, and so happy for his success, and we wish him a lot more than that. Got a couple of minutes here. Anything we want to very briefly discuss before we have to hang it up here?
Well, I've got a few updates. UCF women's soccer won. I didn't finish it, so I don't want to hear it. Won an award for being in the top 10% for multi-year APR for several years. So that's a very, very prestigious award. So congrats to all of them. We did. Or what I'm hearing is that we're going to be involved in the Orange Bowl basketball classic coming up soon, and that's a pretty huge deal. That's been around for a really long time. It's usually local Florida schools that play in it, so we're definitely going to be playing FSU. UF might be a participant as well. So when you're talking about tournaments and just fun games on in-state games, I think that's going to be a great opportunity for me.
And that's typically held in Miami, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that hopefully UM is a part of that as well. I'd like to get them back for what happened this year. So
well, but yeah, and then this is a little fun fact. UCF burned Auburn a little bit here recently. Not only is Twitter Mafia strong, the force strong with Twitter Mafia, but also with UCF social media games. So it's a fun follow. Auburn put something out there. They said, what do you think about when you see this picture? And it was Auburn's logo. And UCF football came back and said really quickly, actually, Shaquem Griffin.
Yeah. Well, I would have put a big L there for him. That's, I think, what I would have said. And I would have replied with a giant L or some kind of GIF or GIF or whatever you want to call it.
The picture of Shaquem Griffin doing the Superman over Jared Stidham, that was the best.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Good times. Good times. We got just like a minute here, so if there's anything else that we want to say,
I think for me, just keeping an eye on the NCAA. The June 1st, there's going to be some decisions made around on-campus activities. We obviously don't have time to talk about this in detail now, but it's something to keep an eye on because that's the next step in getting us back on campus and playing football.
Well, I'm sure we can get into that next week. So,
for sure.
Yeah, we will definitely get into that. There's lots of questions, with how all of this is going to work. Are we going to have football? When is it going to be? How many people are in the stadiums? Is there going to be any people in the stadiums? If there's a limited number in the stadiums, how are those people going to be picked to be in the stadium? Is it going to cost more money? Is it going to, be just season ticket holders? Is it just going to be part of the season ticket holders? There's all kinds of questions. We just want to have live sports, period, as far as I'm concerned. All right. Well, this has been Knightline the morning after. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chad Brown. Thank you to Casey in the studio at ESPN 580 Orlando. We appreciate it. And we will see you next week on Knightline the morning after. Same time, same place. Have a good week.